we're ready. So I'm going to scoot in here next to you.
Now how are you going to start this deal?
How am I going to start this deal? It's already started.
Oh, it's already
started. We're already videotaping. We're great editors, though.
We're doing
We're great editors.
All right, good deal.
Hey, so Paul, thank you so much for coming in and just telling us your story today. And Ron, thanks for coming in as well.
Sure.
Ron is the money coach within the Life Stewards Ministry for Vineyard Cincinnati, and Paul happened to take advantage of some of the services that the Money Coach Ministry offers. And so I just thought I'd let you guys share a little bit about like how you guys kind of came together and how it was to go through this coaching these coaching sessions together. So if you could just share from your heart, like Paul, what made you reach out to try to go get a coach in the first place?
Well, I think it was my sister and I were talking about it. She got me started on an envelope system, meaning that I've got a list of budget items that I do on a bi-weekly basis because that's how often I get paid. So she got me started on that. I have an envelope for basically everything that I pay out: gas, groceries, debts when I had them, and other items, personal stuff, entertainment. You know, I wanted to go out every week and to a movie or something, and I'd have an envelope for that. So she got me started on it. I'd have the item listed on the envelope of what it's for, and I would put a specific amount in it. We figured, my sister and I figured, for example, $60 for gas every 2 weeks, and that's $30 a week. So I would do a 2-week deal in these envelopes. Sometimes I'd have 2 envelopes, like gas and groceries were two different envelopes for the 2 weeks that I had, and I would have a specific amount in each envelope. And once that envelope is empty, then I'm done. If I spend more than my allotted amount for that week, that was it.
And did you get that from Financial Peace University or another way you got the envelope system?
I got the envelope system from my sister.
From your sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
She figured that would be an easy way for me to start my budget. We set up a budget sheet on the computer. I'd print it out, and that budget sheet would have every item that I would pay out on it.
Yeah.
At the time when we started it, I did not have either much of a bank account or anything, or any bank account. So I would leave what was left out of my check in a specific envelope for emergencies and so forth. But when I was able to, I started a bank account. And on that spreadsheet, I would add the bank account to it and write down how much I put in the bank account every 2 weeks.
At some point you decided I need some additional help, and
yeah, actually I think it was my sister that brought that in to focus. She says, well, I guess she said, why don't you talk to the church and see if they've got a financial coach that you can go to, because that way the pressure of working with my finances and my sister would reduce a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But she still puts her hand in every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I went. I don't remember how I found Ron, but I went to the Healing Center and said I want to see if you've got a financial coach that I can get with. I do my taxes at the Healing Center every year, and I like the atmosphere of the church itself. So I decided to see if we can get me hooked up with a financial coach, and there he is.
All right. So how did that get started for you then?
It was he just walked in. I'm not walked in. He set an appointment up one time, and we met. I serve on Wednesday mornings, and we met. And like he says, he came to me with sort of a beginning envelope structure, but a desire to become more independent on his own. Kind of, he wanted to be on his own, and so we talked through what his future story might be, in terms of what his goals were, and he had some specific ones.
Some big picture stuff.
Big picture
Yeah.
stuff, like he wanted to become confident about running his own finances by himself,
Yeah.
and not needing me or not needing his sister. And he wanted to save some money to get an apartment. He wanted to get an apartment because he was living with his sister. He wanted to live in an apartment by himself. He wants to save money to go see his mom, who lives in Florida. And I put in there to have an emergency fund. Wanted to get him an emergency fund, so
Yeah.
he'd have some extra in case something happens.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
So what happened then? So how did the process start for you? Did it feel comfortable for you to have a money coach working with you?
I was a little nervous at first,
Yeah.
but then the more we met, the more I felt relaxed,
Yeah.
and I guess I just liked the way he presented everything. He set up he didn't set up the spreadsheet. He just took it over and kind of tweaked it here and there. I basically told him throughout the times that we met what I'm wanting to do in the future, vacations and stuff like that. And just recently we started saving for my apartment, and we also set up a spreadsheet that had utilities on it to see if I would be able to run a specific apartment depending on how much the rent was, and to see if I had any money left, and I do, because of the income that I've got. I'm able to handle an apartment around $600 a month, plus all the utilities that have to be done. And I'm still probably going to be able to contribute to my savings account again. Maybe not now, maybe not too much, but when the time comes, I can start contributing to that, and maybe I can increase the amount that I put in there.
What worked for you in this? How long have you guys been doing this now?
We've been doing it about 5 months.
Okay.
5 months, and it excites me a great deal because Paul is a great student, and as we've gone through this,
Coachable.
Extremely coachable.
Yeah.
And it's like we've had some little bumps along the way. Like times when he needed to spend his emergency fund. We set that up first. He needed to spend some money out of for something like a copay on a medical expense, and didn't really kind of know how he was going to do that. And then we talked through that, and we talked through how he did it and what he did, and been great for me because he's learning good management skills. I mean, he's learning when I have a decision to make financially, what's the good way to do it, and like we've set up several new envelopes for you on different things that have come along, and he comes into me and says, I think I need to set up a new envelope for this because I need this expense, and I'm like, yeah, you're exactly right. That's exactly right.
How has this relationship helped you stay on target for your goals?
Probably the way he presents himself and presents the overall idea of what he's wanting me to accomplish. He doesn't come down hard on me when I mess up, and I have once or twice, but it's life isn't perfect. There's speed bumps along the way, and there were speed bumps that I've had, and he helped me get over them. Everything that, as he said, everything that comes in new, like my medical copay, because I had benefits from my job, but I hadn't set up anything for medical purposes. I wanted to wait until my benefits kicked in January, and then I found out how much my copays were, and then we set up an envelope for those. It's one envelope for all my medical copays, regardless of what it is, and I would contribute so much per paycheck into that envelope. And what I like to do which I haven't really done yet, was wait until I had the copay available. But sometimes things came up that
Sure.
I needed to take care
Sure,
of, and
sure.
you know, and I would just borrow from my checking account to get the copay done.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, he mentioned some speed bumps along the way, so and that you must have handled that with grace somehow. What is it that you use? Like, how do you get to grace, and what's coming from inside you that allows him to treat him that way when he?
Well, I guess the way I'd explain it is I just try to be what I call a paraclete, a friend beside him. And when he makes a decision that he doesn't think was good, we just talk about it. We just say, well, what did you think about that? And why did you think that was bad? And then I say, well, you know, maybe it's not so bad. You did this with it. And then we try to learn from that, you know. And like he says, we're all not perfect, and we all make mistakes. And so we just, you know, the trick is to look at those mistakes and make them benefit for you. Learn from them, so the next time you do something different.
Yeah.
And he's just been a great student. I mean, he's been very open and listening, and it's been a good relationship. Yeah.
And this opportunity working with Ron also helps me out in more ways than I thought, because besides getting me out of the house, sometimes my sister and I butt heads, you know, but it gives me space, it gives me time away from her, and it gives me time to myself and time to spend at church, which is has been very beneficial to me ever since I started going to the Vineyard.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's some other things that have happened
Yes.
that you're involved in now after starting with money coaching.
Yeah, since we've been together, I've been volunteering at the main building, helping out with the tech crew, helping out with hospitality, and I'm gonna try and get started on working with facilities, doing setups, tear downs, reorganization there.
What prompted you to want to do that?
Well, I guess because of the fact that ever since I've been coming to the Vineyard, and let me back up a couple of years. I was baptized at the Vineyard when Pastor Workman was here. And I never really got to know him very well, but I was baptized around 07. I had to go away for a while. I was in prison for a while, so I decided to get baptized, and I wanted to get baptized at the Vineyard because I liked the church so much. So I did a baptism class. I went through the baptism with a whole bunch of other people. And ever since I was baptized, I've been wanting to come to the church as often as possible, because it's basically not my safe haven, but it's a nice place for me to go to unwind and to get closer to God. I used to go to a couple of classes on Monday or Tuesday nights when I was able to. Their Growth and Healing was what they were called at that time. Went to a couple of different classes because I wanted to find the right one that I would enjoy going to. It was also an opportunity for me to spend time at the church, the Growth and Healing classes, and coming down to see Ron was also a way for me to spend time at the church. He basically got me hooked up with the marketplace and the clothing area, and a long time ago I tried to get that going, but apparently I hit a bump and it stopped for some reason. But I think I'm on the right path right now, and I can take advantage of those services. I'm just feeling so good about myself right now. since I started going to the church and started working with Ron. I don't know how long our relationship is going to last, but for the time being, I want to make the best of it and go as far as I can.
Looks like God's moving in a lot of different ways
Yeah,
here
yeah,
with Paul and through
Yeah.
this relationship, but also through other parts of the church too, on your behalf.
Yeah.
Did you sense that as well? Like God's like moving you in a certain direction?
Yeah.
Or directions?
I think he is. You know, every once in a while, I don't really think that he's with me, but on the other side of the coin, depending on what the situation is, he is there. You know, he doesn't make himself known, or he doesn't make me think that he is there, but he's just kind of guiding me certain ways.
Yeah.
And I don't really think twice about it.
Huh.
You know,
That's really cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
So,
Yeah.
how would you describe this relationship now? This money coach and money coaching, but you know so much more about Paul than just sitting across from him at a desk talking about finances. How's God showing up in this relationship for you as the coach?
Oh man, all the time. For me personally, it's really given me the opportunities to sort of be a mentor for Paul, and I've seen it several times. When people begin to get some control over their finances, then that brings what we call financial peace, and that peace spreads out through their whole life. I mean, just like we see with Paul, it's like he's now open to do more service, open to do more things, and the exciting thing for me is to see all that God is doing with Paul, because he's doing some neat stuff, and I'm just kind of an instrument that he's using, and it's great fun. It's just great fun.
Wow. Lots of progress, it feels like, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful that you guys took the time to come and talk to us today on this. So Ron Shyrock and Paul, what last name?
Westwood.
Paul Westwood, thank you so much for doing this today. Is there anything else you'd like to say as a part of this? Something you'd like anyone that watches this video to know about your journey so far that you think would be helpful?
Well, what I'm thinking is that if anybody else out there that has difficulty with their finances, or they just need peace of mind with whatever they're going through, hook up with the church somewhere. The Healing Center is a good place to start, and they can branch you out into the areas that would help benefit you better than they could. But contact the church and let them know what, if anything, is bothering you, or you're going, bad things that you're going through, and if they've got the services, they'll hook you up.
That's awesome.
Cool.
And Ron, what would you say for people that might be thinking about, well, I could use some help with my finances? What should I do? What should I do to get started?
Well, coming to the Healing Center is great, or talking to a coach. I mean, I think that initial hurdle over, feeling that you're not doing very well in your finances and feeling kind of bad about it, like you're a bad person about it. God doesn't think that about that. It's just try to overcome that and talk to one of the coaches, because we all want to help. We all just want to help, and we listen a lot. We listen more than we talk sometimes, and a lot of times people know exactly what to do. They just need a little help to do it.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, and coaching's not forever, right? It's just a matter of
Actually,
get you going, and
actually the goal in my mind of coaching is to not need me. I mean, I would like for Paul to be totally independent and not need me at all, and just be confident in his own ability to make financial decisions and understand how his money moves around from his income to his expenses, and that's what I'm shooting for.
all right.
I'll probably keep in touch with Ron like every 6 months. Once I get my apartment and we can sever the tie a little bit.
Yeah.
Like every 6 months, I'll call him or text him.
Yeah,
And
that's
come down and talk to him.
You guys got a relationship too
Yes,
now, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it goes beyond just the
Yes.
coaching. You guys are brothers
Yeah.
in Christ, and we stay connected.
Yeah, at one time he invited me to go to a men's group
Yes.
with him
Yes.
at a restaurant, and I turned it down because I had to work. But that's the kind of relationship we have, and that's the kind of relationship I'm looking for above of what we have. You know, that's why I like this church. I want to get involved in a men's group or in a group period, and be able to have a better social life than I do now. I have a good social life. You know, I come to church every weekend. I've got my envelope system started, so if I had the money, I'll go to a movie or I'll go out to dinner. You know, and you know, my social life is doing pretty well, but I'm wanting to build on it and make it grow a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think Ron is a big part of why I'm able to do that.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Because of his services.
That's good stuff. There's no question God has blessed this
Yeah.
this beginning relationship towards other things that He's got planned for both of you. So thank you both for doing this today. Good stuff.
Cool. All right, man.
Well done.
All right.
Well done, guys.
You did good. You did good.
Thank you.